Hey, you've made it this far. So you're almost through module one, where we are selecting a goal to focus on in this time period, whether we're talking about the next month, the next week, the next quarter, the next year. We've got to set our goals within a specific period of time so that we can set ourselves up for success. So this is really where we're going to make our goals SMART. So you may be familiar with the SMART system or the SMART acronym. We're going to very quickly go through that with you. And we provided a worksheet for you to take the goal that you completed and that you selected at step 3, the step you just completed. And we're going to really work that goal using the SMART acronym. So here's what your worksheet is going to look like when you get to that part of the course. We're using a smarter. So this is a worksheet that you will use not only to set your goal, but we'll also can use the latter two elements, the E and the R, as we look to evaluate and readjust as we go through working on achieving the goals, which is what we do in the mastermind part of our program. So the first thing we want to do, the first thing about SMART is that we want to be specific with our goal. And so the more specific we are, the more we help ourselves be successful. Our brains are marvelous organs, but our brains will lock in almost like a GPS or a compass with what we tell it to lock into. So the more specific we are about that goal, the more our brain can go to work for us. Even subconsciously, our brain can help us work on achieving our goals. So when we think specific, think about who is involved with the goal. Is it a goal for yourself? Is it a goal for your family? Is it a goal for your team, your company, your organization, your clients? So who's involved in the goal? What do I want to accomplish? So again, think about the outcome of the goal. Where is the goal to be achieved? So think geography, think personal versus work, think Calgary versus Canada, think North America, global, where is the goal to be achieved? And when do you want to achieve the goal? So again, thinking about, is it a weekly goal, a quarterly goal, a semi-annual or an annual goal? And why do I want to achieve that goal? So that kind of ties into what you just did in step 2, with understanding the whys of achieving the goal. And the work that you've done in the previous steps of this program will help this part go faster, because you will have already had your brain working on some of the elements of making your goal SMART. So we want to make sure it's measurable. So you may have already figured that out when you did the what and the specific, what you want to accomplish. Make it measurable. How will you measure your progress? And usually these are numbers, quantifiable, either how many, how much. It might be a reduction, it might be an increase, but how do you really know if you've achieved your goal? And we really discourage you from using terms like more or less, because one more is more, and maybe that's your goal. But when I think about my goals to become healthier, whether it's exercise or weight loss or pounds to lose or kilograms, sort of thinking about I want to lose weight is different than saying I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to lose 13 kilos in the next year. So think about what are you measuring? And I would encourage you to think not only about lag indicators, which are the results or the outcomes, but also lead indicators, because the lead indicators actually can help us decide if we're on track more closely than measuring the lag indicators. So think about lead and lag indicators for what you're going to measure there. And then, is it achievable? Is it realistic for me? Do I have what I need to make it happen? So this is sometimes a resource consideration. And is it in my power to make it happen? So one of the goals that I have had in the past is to become a grandmother. But that goal is not within my control. And if I think it's within my control, then I'm going to drive my children crazy. So I've dropped that as a goal because I cannot achieve that goal. It's not within my power to make it happen. But other things are within my power to make them happen. So I can select a different goal around that. So relevant, is it important to me? And again, when you did the 5 why exercise, this would have given you the ability to tap into why this is relevant. And this is where we want to think about, why must I do this? So sort of the whole concept that not achieving the goal is non-negotiable. It's not okay to miss the achievement of this goal. So timely or time bound, when will I have this completed? And does the goal have a deadline? So thinking about whether, again, whether this is a weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, you can set the time limit associated with the goal. We really encourage you to set small goals that you can be tracking and achieving within a shorter period of time. 100 days is a sort of a good roadmap to look at, because we can convert that into 10-day sprints. And so 10-day sprints, we can achieve a goal. And it's, 100 days is just enough time to achieve something that could be significant for your business, but not so long that we lose sight of the journey. And so we think about 100 days or quarterly sprints or goal setting is something for you to consider as you're setting these goals. So if the goal has a deadline within the next quarter, that would be ideal to get you experienced in setting and achieving goals. One of the other reasons that we want to set goals that are achievable in about 100 days is that our brains thrive on succeeding. And so when we achieve a goal, whether we do a little happy dance, whether we high five somebody, whether we publicly share that with our advisors that we work with, or family or friends, it helps our brains focus on achieving the next goal, because we've had success. And when we have some success, our brains give us a dopamine hit, which is sort of our brains on drugs, a natural endorphin that helps us feel good. And that when we feel good about completing something, human beings have a higher probability to do it again. And so we want to start good habits around setting and achieving goals. So that's really the first 5 parts of the SMART acronym. So specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant, and timely or time bound. So those 5 elements make up a SMART goal. This worksheet also includes a couple of other elements, the E and the R. And we'll do more of that work when we come to the mastermind program, the part of this program, where we're actually looking at evaluating, are we getting closer to the goal? So that's where those lead indicators come in handy, evaluating, am I getting closer to the goal? And then readjusting. We know that, all good people often resist planning, whether we're talking about planning, doing a financial plan, which sometimes is called a budget, or we're talking about a business plan, because they know that, there's so many variables and it won't happen according to plan. We know it won't happen according to plan. But if we have the mechanisms in place so that we see where we're tracking on course, where we're off course, and working on achieving our plan, we're able to course correct and adjust along the way so that we can achieve our goals so looking at how do we evaluate are we achieving our goals, and then thinking about readjusting. So how do we course correct? Do we course correct with activity? Do we course correct with resources? Do we course correct with performance management of another nature? Course correction is part of the name of the game. And so building that course correction routine into the work that you're doing over the year to achieve your goals is critical. So the worksheet is available for you. So focus on the first 5 elements and take that one goal that you created in the previous step and make sure that it is SMART. And so that will take us to the end of module 1, step 4. And so we'll see you on the other side when we start module 2.